I just rewatched Pirates of the Caribbean, and that shit is fire! So in case you forgot how good this movie is, I wanted to take you through it and poke a little fun while we're going at it. You know, crack a little jokes, make a scurvy joke here and there. Here we go. So the movie starts off with a flashback with Elizabeth Swann. She's the governor's daughter, and she's jinxing the whole ship by singing about pirates.
A pirate's life will be a drink.
Quiet, Missy. Cursed pirates sail these waters.
Then after Mr. Gibbs pretends to hang himself in front of a 12-year-old child, she sees a boy in the water, and there's a destroyed ship that was clearly attacked by pirates. So James Norrington gets his men to save the boy, and little does he know, he just saved Mr. Steal Your Girl. Me personally, I let the kid drown. But he's a good guy, I guess. So something I didn't realize as a kid was James is a 20-year-old man. And Elizabeth is 12. And then not too long after Elizabeth becomes an adult, James proposes to her. So like, that's weird. It's giving Minecraft YouTuber a little too much. But anyway, Elizabeth is making sure that this boy is okay. And he tells her that his name is William Turner before passing out. And by the way, William's an instant smash. Not as a child, as an adult, okay? Look at him as an adult. I'm not talking about when he was a child. Elizabeth finds a gold coin around Will's neck. And very clearly, it belongs to a pirate. There's a skull on it. It's definitely a pirate gold coin. And she quickly hides it before anyone sees it. Because I think if they thought Will was a pirate, they would have killed him. Even though he's 12, I think he would have died. So that's a big W for Elizabeth. This movie has so many fun moments, and I really miss when movies were written with nuance and every joke wasn't shoved down your throat. Like every Marvel movie is like the cheesiest line ever for the dialogue. Like the first scene with Will while he's waiting to deliver a sword he made for James's ceremony is so funny. After Will delivers the sword, Elizabeth comes down, and my boy William is in love! And you can tell Elizabeth likes him too, and you can feel the swooning in the air. But the dad is not having it, because he wants her to be with the groomer for some reason. He's into that sort of thing. Now it's time for... So Jack docks his boat, bribes someone, steals from the person he bribes, and now he's off to steal a ship.
Hey! You! Get away from there! You don't have permission to be aboard there, mate.
I'm sorry, it's such a pretty boat.
While Jack's trying to charisma himself a ship, Elizabeth is taken aside by James during his ceremony. Crazy Minecraft YouTuber strategies that you couldn't even comprehend.
You have become a fine woman, Elizabeth.
I can't breathe.
Yes, I'm a bit nervous myself.
Nobody jumps after her because they're all cowards. And while she's sinking, her gold coin pulses. Luckily, Jack is still trying to steal that ship right next to where Elizabeth fell, so he jumps in after her. What a hero.
Not breathing! Move!
So Jack cuts off her corset, that way she can breathe, and because he's a pirate, they're gonna hang him. Karma's not helping him out of this situation. He helps this girl. Now he's gonna die? Question mark?
You will always remember this as the day that you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow.
They opened fire with so many civilians around. Did you hear that woman scream? I think she got hit with a stray. Jack is giving them the runaround, and he loses them all in a blacksmith's workshop. Jack's trying to get free of his chains, and with the help of a little animal cruelty, he does. But just then, William Turner enters the building, and things aren't the way he left them. He's getting suspicious, and he's looking around. But Jack gets the drop on him, and he just wants to leave. But he threatened his Pookie. You think he's just gonna let him go after he threatens Bay? No, no, no. Then Will throws his sword, with supernatural precision. Then Will throws his sword at the door with supernatural precision and traps Jack in the building with him. They start duking it out and shit's getting crazy. Will's using a fire poker, Jack's throwing hammers, and they're both fighting on a giant wheel. Will's popping off. He's dual wielding swords and he's kind of kicking Jack's ass a little bit. He is getting kind of unlucky, but he had a smooth recovery. And after fighting in the rafters for a little bit, he beats Jack in a sword fight. But then Jack whips out his Glock.
Please move. No! I cannot just step aside and let you escape. This shot is not meant for you.
Jack's in jail now, and he's waiting to get hung. Hanged? I feel like hung is the right pronunciation, but I don't like saying the word hung. It's got a weird connotation, if you get what I'm saying. And we come back to Elizabeth, who's had a crazy day, but she seems more frazzled that James proposed to her than being held at gunpoint by a pirate.
Well, that Will Turner. He's a fine man, too.
That is too bold.
Elizabeth doesn't even want to hear another woman swooning over her man. She wants to jump his bones. Cut back to James, and he thinks he has Elizabeth in the bag. And he's talking to the governor about the weather when...
What's that?
The town's being attacked by the Black Pearl and a bunch of pirates. And it's pandemonium. This little kid almost gets crushed by a giant building, and Will jumps into the action to save this woman. He throws stuff during this whole movie, and he doesn't miss, I swear to God. I think he's practicing to throw Miss Swan out of bed, if you get what I'm saying. Speaking of Miss Swan, there's a bunch of pirates going to murder her.
Hello, chum.
So Miss Swan is doing her best to run from these three pirates, and now she's hiding in the closet. But the gold is calling to them, and they find her like right away.
Hello, Poppy.
Parley!
Parlay these nuts. I'm just kidding, they don't blast her, but because she invoked parlay, they have to take her to their captain, which means she doesn't get murdered. I don't know where she learned pirate code, but that was clutch. Cut back to William, and he gets clanked in the head after seeing Elizabeth getting kidnapped. And she's taken to Captain Barbossa. Now, Captain Barbossa is after the gold coin that Elizabeth has. If they don't leave and never come back, she's gonna drop it in the ocean. When they ask her what her name is, she uses William's last name, Turner, instead of her own. And now they're keeping Elizabeth captured. Hopping back over to Will, and he's been knocked out all night. Kind of funny that no one tried to help him. They probably thought he was dead and just didn't want to touch him. After Will wakes up, he finds James, and he's trying to convince him to make a deal with Jack Sparrow to save Elizabeth, because Jack knows where the Black Pearl is going. But James doesn't trust pirates, so he's telling Will no. But you underestimate how in love Will is. So he's just gonna go to Jack and break him out himself.
I helped build these cells. These are half-pin barrel hinges. Hurry, someone will have heard that.
Will breaks Jack out of his cell, and now they're on the run. And now they need to find a ship to steal. So they march underwater, and they're wasting no time. They're efficient.
Everyone stay calm. We are taking over the ship.
Aye, of ice!
This ship cannot be crewed by two men. You'll never make it out of the bay.
Son, I'm Captain Jack Sparrow.
Not so funny when you've got a gun to your head. James finds out pretty much right away that they're trying to steal a ship, and they sail over to stop them, but it's all part of the plan.
Search every cabin, every hole, down to the bilges. Sailors, back to the interceptor, now!
Thank you, Commodore, for getting us ready to make way. We've had a hard time of it by ourselves.
And now we're off to Tortuga, an island full of pirates, because they need a crew. And the first person they try to recruit is Jack's old friend, Gibbs. Gibbs is skeptical that Jack's gonna be able to get the Black Pearl back, because Barbossa's a full crew, also allegedly cursed and can't die. But after Jack tells Gibbs that Will is the son of Bootstrap Bill, he's all in. Going back over to Elizabeth, and she's chowing down on a big meat bone. And Barbossa is gonna drop some lore.
But the greed of Cortez was insatiable. So the heathen gods placed upon the gold a terrible curse. Any mortal that removes but a single piece from that stone chest shall be punished for eternity.
So Elizabeth isn't buying this whole curse thing, but after Barbossa says that the final part of the ritual is her blood and that they're gonna kill her, she roleplays as a murderer and stabs Barbossa.
I feel nothing. Not the wind on my face, nor the spray of the sea, nor the warmth of a woman's flesh. You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
And while the Black Pearl is sailing away to break their curse, Jack is inspecting his new crew, which includes a mute person, a short person, and don't be scared when I say this, a woman. And as soon as they leave, they're going through hell. But Jack is in high spirits because his compass doesn't point north. It's pointing to the Black Pearl, and he's catching up. Now it turns out Jack used to be the captain of the Black Pearl before Barbossa and the rest of the crew mutinied and stranded him on an island.
How did Jack get off the island?
He roped himself a couple of sea turtles, lashed them together, and made a raft.
He roped a couple of sea turtles.
Aye, sea turtles.
What did he use for rope?
Human hair from my back.
That's awkward. I wonder how long he was standing there for. So Jack and Will finally catch up to the Black Pearl. But uh-oh, Elizabeth is about to be sacrificed. But Will is a reckless boy, and he really wants to do something stupid.
I'm not gonna be your leverage.
But Will isn't being stupid fast enough because they're about to murk Elizabeth. Now the curse has ended and the pirates aren't Minecraft skeletons anymore. Or are they? Because they don't really feel any different. So how are they gonna know if they're still immortal Minecraft skeletons or not?
You're not dead.
So the curse isn't broken because they need William Turner's blood, and they thought Elizabeth would work because she lied about her last name. And the entire crew is really pissed, and it looks like they're about to mutiny. But after realizing that Elizabeth is gone, they freak the fuck out and they go to chase after her, but instead they find Jack, who's just now waking up after Will knocked him out. And then he invokes parsnip, parsley, parlay.
Parlay? That's the one. Parlay!
You know the drill, they gotta take Jack to the captain real quick, and Barbossa is just confused, because he left this dude on an island like forever ago. But Barbossa doesn't give a fuck, he's just gonna blast him. But Jack is a crafty little devil.
Gents, you all remember Captain Jack Sparrow. Kill him.
The girl's blood didn't work, did it?
I know whose blood you need.
So Jack's kind of betraying Will, but it's kind of fair game, because, you know, Will whacked him. He whacked him off. Will breaks the news to the rest of the crew that Jack didn't make it out. He failed to specify how that happened, and while they're leaving, there's a little sexual tension between Will and Elizabeth. Before, it was an innocent little crush between them both. But being on the edge of death this much, they're kind of horned up.
It's yours.
It was a gift from my father. Why did you take it?
Because I was afraid that you were a pirate.
It wasn't your blood they needed. It was my father's blood. The blood of a pirate.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
Hiding the truth about Will's pirate dad kind of killed the mood, but what's really gonna kill the mood is when Barbossa comes on board and kills all of them, because he's on the Black Pearl and he's catching up. Everyone's throwing stuff overboard to try to outrun the Black Pearl just long enough that they can lose them in shallower water. But then those fuckers start rowing and they're gonna catch them. But Will refuses to go down without a fight. So they start loading the cannons with glass, silverware, and booze. That way they can have a last stand. Feels kind of pointless because they're all immortal, but you know. So they drop the anchor and finally, we get a good pirate v pirate cannon fight. After a ship-crippling shot by these two, Will is stuck under the ship. Jack got a little lucky and some of the cannon fire broke him free from his cell, so now he's back in the fray. And after helping Elizabeth knock out a pirate, he's like, where the fuck's the medallion? Elizabeth, where the fuck's the medallion? Where's Will? Realizing Pookie's in danger, she goes over there to help, but she's not able to. And to make things worse, Barbossa's monkey takes the medallion right to him. Little fucker. And now Will's drowning and is about to get blown up. Oh, I sure hope nothing bad happens to William Turner. Rest in peace, my boy Will. He was the hottest man I knew. Every time I saw him, I wanted to rip his clothes off and tickle his taint, but I don't get that happy ending anymore. Oh hey, Will's still alive.
She goes free.
We've only got one shot, and we can't die.
You can't. I can.
Who are you?
My name is Will Turner. My father was Bootstrap Bill Turner. His blood runs in my veins.
So he holds himself hostage and he makes a deal with Barbossa, but pirates aren't the most kind people.
Barbossa, you lying bastard! You swore she'd go free.
So Elizabeth walks the plank and she takes a little too long. She looks like one of those poor souls who takes an ice bath every morning.
Jack.
So Barbossa's talking about jacking off, and he strands Jack at the same island that he stranded him at last time when they all mutinied against him. And Jack watches as he sails away with his ship again. Now is when we find out that the story Jack told about how he got off the island on the back of sea turtles with his hair was a lie.
Last time, the rum runners used this island as a cache. Came by and I was able to barter passage off.
That's the secret grand adventure of the infamous Jack Sparrow. He spent 3 days lying on a beach drinking rum.
Taking a pause from the movie, when I got to this part, tragedy struck. My internet killed itself. It was a Will Turner gone wrong. And I was so tired. It was 2 in the morning and I just wanted to go to bed, but the grind never stops. So I was able to pirate Pirates of the Caribbean on my phone. Word on the street is I'm kind of the coolest and best person ever?
The devils were black, you were really bad. You got me hot as your hope.
I would love to run around a fire drinking rum. So they drink the night away and Jack takes one last 10-second chug and passes out. And Jack has the displeasure of waking up to Elizabeth burning all of the rum. It makes a giant smoke signal, but Jack is so sad, and then he considers shooting Elizabeth in the back of the head. But to her credit, the plan works, and she's rescued by James and her father. And she's trying to convince them to go attack the Black Pearl to save Will. But James does not want to do that, and he just wants to get her back to safety. So Elizabeth pulls on his heartstrings.
Commodore, I beg you, please do this. For me. As a wedding gift.
James is horned up and ready to save Will Turner.
Begun thy blood.
Excuse me.
Thy blood.
Jack.
It's not possible.
When Jack shows up again, Barbossa is in such shock. This dude just won't die. He keeps coming back. Because Jack is trying to lure Barbossa's crew out to the Navy so that they can blow them to bits, he tells Barbossa and his crew that the Navy is there waiting for him. And his plan is to break the curse while they're attacking the ships. That way they all die. But Barbossa tells his crew to take a walk, meaning they're going under the water, not in a bunch of boats, which means the Navy can't blow them to pieces. So the Navy doesn't know they're coming until it's too late. It's like a new Assassin's Creed game, dude. They're killing everyone and they have no idea. Until these two, which were the distraction, start getting in a fight and they're kind of alerted. But it doesn't really help because they're immortal pirates, so they're kind of getting mollywopped. Luckily, because Elizabeth is a little rebel, she already dipped. She's out of there, dude. And she's going to the Black Pearl to help break out the crew. And now we're getting some fierce pirate fighting.
You can never predict when they're going to do something incredibly stupid.
Jack and Barbossa are pretty evenly matched, but Jack lets his guard down and gets stabbed through the stomach. But Jack took one of the gold coins and he's cursed too. We got some immortal pirate fighting going on. Back to the Black Pearl, and there's these two pirates standing guard, but they're really excited to eat all this food when the curse is broken. So they're just kind of waiting there. But Elizabeth has snuck on to the Black Pearl and she's taking notes out of Will's book. She throws the skeleton monkey onto the cannon. His poor monkey nuts just got crushed and the two pirates run upstairs to try to figure out what's going on. Elizabeth barely hides in time and she sneaks downstairs and frees the crew. And Elizabeth tries to rally them to help Will, but they don't want to fight skeleton pirates and they already got the Black Pearl, so they're getting the fuck out of Dodge. Back to Will and Jack, and they're still fighting. And now Elizabeth joins the battle. And her and Will get rid of the last 3 goons and they get ready for a last-ditch effort to beat Barbossa.
10 years you carry that pistol, and now you waste your shot.
He didn't waste it.
I feel cold.
That's rough, dude. I mean, you come back to life and 5 seconds later you're dead. And you know it's sad when the villain drops his apple. Was he holding that apple during the whole fight? Where did it come from? So the curse is lifted and Barbossa's crew surrenders and the governor is hype. And hard cut to Jack about to be executed and Will is about to do something rash. Again.
Your place, Turner.
It's right here, between you and Jack.
As is mine.
Oh, you don't want to marry me. That's okay.
This is the day that you will always remember as the day that you...
So Jack gets picked up by the Black Pearl, and I think he's growing on James because he doesn't really want to chase him, and he just lets him go. He gives him a few day head start, which is really chill. When they start making out, the dad has to just awkwardly walk away. He's like walking away and he like looks back and he's like, oh, yep, their tongues are in their mouth, each other's mouths. And that wraps up Pirates of the Caribbean. It's 3 in the morning. I'm really excited to go to bed. If you comment about the way I pronounce Caribbean, I will execute you.